Hello, welcome to Mama Sue's Kitchen. Today I wanted to share something quick and easy, a good dessert that you probably have every ingredient already at home, but it's one that a sweet friend of mine shared with me a while back. It's so good and so easy. It's old-fashioned cornflake candy. And let me tell you how we're going to make that. The very first thing we're going to do is take 1 cup of granulated white sugar. All right. To that, I'm going to add 1 cup of corn syrup. So, I'm going to pour that in there. And somebody told me that if I would spray the inside of the cup, that it would come out much easier, and it did. It worked. Now to that, I'm just gonna put it on the stove eye. Let me turn it on. And I'm only going to heat it until the sugar has melted. So, while I'm just kind of stirring it up right now so you'll see. Okay? And while that is heating a little bit, I wanted to tell you Baby Blake didn't get to come home. I had never heard of this. I'm learning as I go along, but preemies have what's called Brady's. It's where their oxygen level drops, their heart rate drops. He had not had one in several weeks. And yesterday morning, early, he had one. And he's fine. Everything is back up to normal. He hasn't had any more, but I think it's kind of a rule that if you have one, you have to stay 5 more days. That you have to go 5 days without having one. So I know his sisters were very disappointed. His little brother's not old enough to know. But, you know, he'll be 4 months old February the 10th. And those little sisters have never seen him, except in pictures. So y'all just pray that everything is going to go smoothly and he'll be able to come home in 5 more days. But we're so thankful that if he had to have another one, he had it in the hospital rather than being at home and having to go back. All right, let me check and see if this is melting. It's just going to take just a little while. But while that is, I'm going to tell you the next ingredient that I'll put in when that melts is I'll take a cup of peanut butter. So I'm going to put it in this measuring cup. You know, cornflakes, it's probably one of the oldest cereals that you can get. And it's real good too. If you crush it, it's real good to coat your like chicken or pork chops or whatever if you're going to cook them in the oven. I didn't want to cook that too fast because, you know, I didn't want the sugar to burn or anything. But we're going to be ready, and I think what I'm going to go ahead and do, I just use the corn flakes that, or the off-brand. It doesn't matter. But let me go ahead, and I'm going to fix my wax paper. Here it is. Because once we add the corn flakes, the peanut butter, and it melts, and the corn flakes, we are going to have to spoon them out pretty quickly because they'll get hard. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do 2. The reason I kind of wet this is so it would stick to my countertop. And it will. Let me check it. Oh yeah, it's beginning to. It won't take very much longer at all. But some of you are wanting to know every time about the cookbooks. I get messages. And if you will look on my page, it's going to be the very first post. I fixed it where it'll always be the first post. And it tells you how to order the cookbooks. Now, I am pretty up to date. Maybe a day behind on orders. And Mondays are usually pretty big orders because I don't get any mail on Sundays. And so I get more by mail on Mondays. But I try to ship them out within 2 days after I get the order. I don't know how long it's going to take for it to get there. I think mail is a lot faster now than it was last month. Okay. It is beginning to bubble. And I'm going to just make sure that that sugar has melted. I think it's supposed to be completely clear, and that's what I want. Let me show y'all something. You know, Scout is a little dots, and look at this dish towel. My daughter yesterday said, Mom, I got you a little prize. And she had been somewhere that they had those, and she brought them to me. Now, she claims she doesn't like my Scout because she said he's spoiled, and she calls him a little yappy dog because he does bark when people comes up. But she does. Let me get a hot pad real quick. All right, I'm taking it off the stove, and I'm going to add my peanut butter. And let that begin to melt with it. Okay. Get the rest of it, because that's another tablespoon at least. I'm just going to stir it around until it mixes in, and I'll show you what it looks like when it has all mixed in. This is optional. On some recipes, you don't have to put vanilla, but I'm going to put about a teaspoon. Oh, yeah. Looks good. See there, it's just all melted together. Now, 6 cups of cornflakes, but it says just to add a couple of cups at a time, because sometimes it takes the whole 6 cups and sometimes it doesn't. But you'll want to work with this, you know, pretty fast because it will get hard. I think it's going to take most of them. Okay. You know what? The recipe doesn't call for it, and when I post the recipe, it's not going to say this, but I'm going to put just a few peanuts in it. Okay? Okay. Now, we're just going to spoon it out on the wax paper. I've got 2 spoons. One to spoon out with, and one to push it off. I think you can see. Those are a little big, but it'll just keep me from getting 2, won't it? Yeah, my friend, I'll tell you, it was Stephanie Rada that sent me this recipe, and I've had it before. But she said, it's just an easy recipe that doesn't cost much. It's ingredients that you have. If you don't have cornflakes, I think you could use Frosted Flakes. You could use Rice Krispies. It's just called cornflake candy, so that's what I used. But now it's going to have to sit for a while before we eat it. I think you can see. Y'all, it is very, very good. And I hope y'all had a great day today. Today was our mission day at church. We had a mission banquet last night, and today was the day. Our church does once a year. We give everybody a chance to make pledges, how much they're going to give this year toward missions. Our church is very mission-minded, and so much so that our teenagers have their own goals. Our children have their own goals, and I think it's wonderful. Someone sent me a message this morning. I only check my messages now 3 times a day. I can't look at them all day long because I wouldn't get anything done. But I try to check them every day, because if I don't, I get so far behind and it's hard to catch up. But someone sent me a message this morning from Pennsylvania and said it was supposed to snow for 2 days up there. And here where I live in Alabama, we just don't get very much snow at all. We laugh and say when we have snow flurries, they close the roads almost. That's not quite true, but it is almost. But I got a little weather alert on my phone a little bit ago, and it said possibility of a wintry mix tonight. And you know, that's just exciting to me, because no more snow than we're seeing here in Alabama. I think it's very pretty. There's a piece that fell off. Y'all, even though it's not hard yet, it's good. Got just a little bit more. Now, when I get this last bit out, I'm going to go ahead and put my pan in some soapy water. I don't want this to get hard in it. Let me see, there's another spot. I put these peanuts, but you don't have to. And it's not going to be on the recipe. But I think it'd be good if you put coconut. You could put some chocolate chips or whatever. But you know, the old-fashioned candy is this right here. Let me put this right over here for just a minute. Now, you've got to let it cool. But I think you can see. It's delicious. I could take a spoon and eat it right now. But y'all, this week, I'm planning out. Amy's helping me plan out what I'm going to be cooking this week. So, y'all share my page. I couldn't believe when I checked the other day how many people are actually following me. I thank you so much. And when there's so many good cooking shows, I watch them too. I love them. So, y'all just, if you've got time, just find all these good cooking shows and see how we cook alike and how we're different. But I can't eat one of these right now. Well, that one's getting hard. It's one of the first ones that I did. Okay? Got my mouth full. You're gonna love it. You try this if you just want something sweet to have, but it does need to cool a lot. But I will put the recipe on. My recipes are always above the videos because I do my video first, then I put the recipe so you'll have it. But y'all, I hope you know that I love each of you. You really brighten my day. I love how you're just so encouraging to me and everything. And my goal is to make you see that cooking doesn't have to be hard. It can be with just the things you have in your house. But anyway, I want you to remember, Mama Sue says you be salt and light. Read Matthew 5:13 through 16. Jesus wants our light to shine. And when you're out and about, you do. You be salt and light and let others see Jesus in you. I'll be back real soon.